The demolition of the boiler house and bunker bays at Ferrybridge Power Station posed multiple challenges that required innovation, both in terms of technical approach and practical approach by the Keltbray Decommissioning Team. We had 32 coal mills, we had 4 large boiler units, and a labyrinth of steam pipework housed within a very complex steel structure. Removing these elements in such a restricted working environment posed significant risk to the staff. One of the key selection criteria for Keltbray on this project was our safety record and our approach to health and safety on all projects. On this project, we have 1 million safe man-hours to date.
During the tendering stage, Keltbray proposed using linear-shaped charges over pre-weakening. Linear-shaped charges drastically reduced the risk to the workforce doing the demolition, which really appealed to SSE at the time.
What I have here is a piece of linear-shaped charge. So instead of the normal cut and kick method that's been employed here in the past, where the column is completely cut by a man and then kicked out at the end, this eliminates the need to completely cut the column through. And inside this charge is RDX. It's a type of plastic explosives. It detonates at about 29,000 feet per second. And they're going to go off at a predetermined time. The outer row of the boiler house is going to go first, then the next row in goes off, and this row goes off. So the boiler house and the bunker bay do this. And when the charges go off on these bigger columns in the front sides, we have the kicker plate. We'll line that with sticks of dynamite. So the linear is cut, and that microsecond later, that dynamite gives it a punch and kicks the column. And that kicks the leg out, and which induces its rotation.
Okay, so using the linear-shaped charge system, what we do is we keep the main structural columns intact to the point of detonation. We modelled the cuts in the building in Tekla engineering software model and our own in-house augmented reality. We modelled the building, we modelled all the cuts in the building, and then the engineers, once it was fully cut within the model, they put a 50-year wind against it to see if there'd be any movement. Yeah, so it's extremely stable and it will remain stable right up to the point of detonation.
The inside of the buildings and all components have been thoroughly washed down numerous times. As part of our sustainability commitment, the team has been harvesting rainwater since the start of the project. This water has been stored, tested and utilised for dust suppression during demolition and to complete a major number of washdowns of the boiler house and bunker bay, not only minimising dust suppression but to prevent the build-up of explosive atmospheres. Independent, extensive asbestos surveys were completed prior to our works commencing on site. All asbestos containing material identified in these surveys has been removed in preparation for the demolition. The removal process was undertaken by a specialist licensed asbestos contractor in line with the Control of Asbestos Regulations 2012. Keltbray have collaborated with HSE throughout the project. The offer of a learning hub for new inspectors was well received by the HSE. The HSE have paid particular attention to the variety of demolition techniques undertaken throughout the project, and positive feedback has been received on numerous occasions.
Going forward, the linear-shaped charges are placed within the columns. They are locked in place and then surrounded by protection. So it's important that we check that before the protection is fully completed. On the morning of the demolition, we'll check the connections into the charges and also the connections to the chimneys. It's a visual inspection of the non-L system of connection.
So Keltbray's role here is the principal demolition contractor. So it's our responsibility to take this down to a brownfield site, and that involves demolishing the large structure you see behind us. But we've spent the best part of the last 2 years stripping out and segregating and recycling all of the heavy metals and things within the plant and bringing it to a fairly big conclusion today, where we now blow down the main plant so that we can get at then finishing off the demolition.
Demolition of the boiler house and bunker bays was a huge success. Post-demolition analysis showed the building was felled symmetrically, in line with the demolition design. The linear shaped charges worked perfectly to cut the steel columns in a controlled manner, splitting the boiler house away from the bunker bays. The 9 millisecond delay between charges minimising air overpressure. This is the first time that linear shaped charge technique has been used in the UK in such an extensive form, and it has proven to be a highly efficient and extremely safe demolition method. It has shown that safety and technical innovation are key to Keltbray decommissioning.